All right, we're going to get the Gumby Greene retirement after 31 years here to get going. Got a tee off time here at one. A lot of us got better things to do.
I'm late for a massage.
Anyways, Gumby, 31 years is a long time. I've known Gumby just like the rest of you guys, at least 28 years. And you can tell by the pictures, there's a lot of change. What's his ex-wife, according to Penny O'Hara?
What's the change? Cans to bottles?
Cans to bottles, yeah. All right, black and white for Ralph. Right. So anyways, we gathered here to celebrate. And if you know Gumby, again, it's not really a serious retirement, but it is a retirement. And I pondered should I go to serious or else should I go, it's a retirement, but let's go. It's a guy named Gumby. Right? So I got a little spiel here. I'm going to go with how it's going to run. I'm going to give a little spiel, followed by the presentations. A lot of people here. Followed by a lot of good stories. I imagine there's a couple. I know I've got one.
Keep it to yourself.
And I got it right here. Anyways, after being kicked out of grade 7 for not paying child support, Gumby joined the Navy in 1981. After 22 weeks in Cornwallis, Gumby finally graduated and went to Halifax to begin what he claims to be the MF. I don't know what the MF is.
Mental fuckness.
After 31 years, or after 3 years in trades training in Halifax, Gumby deemed fit to tie knots, if not lots, and he was sent out here to us on the west coast. The ships he spent time on were the Gatineau. Here's Gumby. I don't even know who gave him that name. Probably himself. The Gatineau, what is a Gatineau? Anyways, Thunder, Chinecto, Saskatchewan, Oriole, Yukon. A lot of us walking out of the gate, seeing that person standing up top of the mast. Well, that was Penny O'Hara on the rope laughing, and that was Gumby Greene up there trying to get I don't know what you're doing up there. I'm sure that's a good story. Calgary, on numerous occasions, the mighty Algonquin, which is, and he spent time in the Algonquin twice, which, according to Rob Cantwell, is probably the reason why it's such bad shape today. He was there in 2012 as a chief bosun's mate. Also spent time at remote ports of call, CFB Cold Lake, racked up, what, 80,000 Club Z points there? Mach 4 small boat unit, and of course, Canadian Fleet School of Esquimalt, the Small Arms IC, and following the promotion to Chief Officer Second Class, the Divisional Regulating Chief. Gumby, your retirement today will make all of our lives much easier. So all that set aside, I went down and had a cup of coffee with Gumby, probably about 3 months ago. And we talked about his time. So last year over a cup of Joe, I asked the usual questions. Gumby, do you have a job lined up when you get out? Gumby replied, no. House paid off, Gumby? No. Tons of bills. So after leaving, I pondered the thought, so I decided to help out, and so I got a hold of the Times columnist to send me a list of the top 10 jobs suited for a guy named Gumby. So here in my hand is the top 10 jobs for a guy named Gumby. Number 10, stunt double for Rita McNeil. Number 9, sing the national anthem at the cockfights and soup. Number 8, take the mannequins out for a smoke break at Lululemon. Number 7, dry hunt the mannequins at Lulu. Number 6, cast member of Hee Haw. Number 5, wedding singer at Moz. Number 4, gay porn. Number 3, play Festus in a remake of Gunsmoke. Number 2, put a gun to your head. And the number 1 job selected by the Times calls for the guy named Gumby. Pull your release on Monday and forget this ever happened. Anyways, Gumby, I got a beer. 31 years. Good friend, look behind you. A lot of other good friends. Cheers to Gumby. So what we got now is a bunch of certificates, the hardware. What it's all about. So the first one I'm going to ask is the CDIP commander, Lieutenant Commander Ansel, come on up and Give Gumby a coaster.
Presented to Chief Petty Officer, Second Class, DP Greene, CD. This certificate is awarded in recognition of your 31 years of service to Canada. On behalf of the Government of Canada and the Canadian Forces, I thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our country. And you want to get this, Smitty? Here's your pin of service. You can wear that with your navy blue blazer and
Bernie blazer.
Hip waders.
Where's your commissioner uniform?
You never know, man, on one of those scooters.
That's all treated to see you. Training was Gumby's XO from last year, I believe. You were not, but you are. So thanks again for your service. And the Prime Minister has a scroll here that he signed. I'll read it out. Also thanking you for the 31 wonderful years that you served your country. So Chief Petty Officer, Second Class, Dave Greene. It is with great pleasure that I offer you my congratulations on the occasion of your retirement after 31 years in the Canadian Forces. I commend you for your career of service to your country. You may take great pride in your commitment to defend our nation and the values for which it is known and respected throughout the world. As Prime Minister, I express my sincere thanks and appreciation for your efforts as an esteemed member of our nation's forces. I join with your family and many friends in wishing you the very best as you begin the next chapter of your life. So congrats. Robert Wiggins, who's also retiring in August.
Get up there, Dave. I had the distinct pleasure to work with Dave for the very first time in 1983 in Gatineau. And lo and behold, David and I used to have bodies like Greek gods. Now we look like goddamn Greeks. Well, Dave, it's been a pleasure working with you all the years. And this is pretty impressive. But the flag is, the Canadian flag displayed here, presenting the honor of the career Chief Petty Officer, Second Class, David Gumby Greene, on the occasion of his retirement from the Royal Canadian Navy. Fair winds and following seas. Congratulations, Dave.
Chief Petty Officer retired, 47 years in the Navy, Tom Eustace.
Well, David, 31 years has come and gone in what probably appears to be a very short space when you start to look back over your career. I had the distinct pleasure of not only serving with David in the Saskatchewan when he was a Killick. I had the opportunity on many occasions to play against him in broomball when he was much more svelte. He was an awesome specimen of physical fitness. He was a terrific broomball player, but more importantly, he was an awesome bosun. During those days when we were still maneuvering whalers and workboats and pulling on lines that left splinters in your hands, David was an awesome seaman. As a Killick, he could be relied upon to do just about anything. I was fortunate enough to serve with him in Saskatchewan, as I said, but we had our hands full trying to keep him in Saskatchewan because every now and then he would make his way across to the Fairmile floats to serve in Oriel, where he served there with distinction, then again as a super seaman. So David, as 31 years has come and gone, you've forgotten about those terms of warming and parceling and serving and splicing, whalers and workboats, and now we're into rigid hull inflatable boats.
What's that?
Kevlar and Dacron. So this plaque sort of describes what the bosun occupation was like, not only before you arrived on the scene, but also during it. It's got lots of small, fine print that I'm not going to bother reading. However, I will admit, having read it with my glasses on, that there are numerous spelling errors, lots of punctuation faux pas that were very reminiscent of some of the paperwork you tried. The key here is of memorandums that are very reminiscent of your work. So David, I know I represent those who have been retired and those who aren't here, and I pass on to you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you and well done throughout your 31 years, and we certainly wish you all the best in retirement, whether it's hunting or fishing, or as what you used to say, that fucking fucker's fuck. Hurry up, Smitty.
Retired guy, man who dyes his hair, Ralph Bondi. Not bad for a 70-year-old man.
I knew Dave way back when he first came out here on the Gatineau.
You were my first master seaman.
Yeah, I was a master seaman, and he was
An OD.
He was an OD in the wheelhouse, and we had this. You know, we used to have an OD meter down in the wheelhouse. If the guy got off course, well, you can imagine. Look at his knuckles now. So yeah. Oh, it was always a pleasure sailing with Dave. So I have here a message from the Premier. As Premier of the Province of British Columbia, I'm pleased to acknowledge your career with the Canadian Forces. You have served the country with honor and loyalty, and for you that you have earned the very high regards of your fellow service members, family, and friends. There's more here, but Christy Clark. Probably not our Premier very long.
All right, well, yes, I'm one of the fortunate ones who got to sail with Dave and do a couple fishing trips with Dave and play some broom ball with Dave, and yeah, those were the days. Like Tom had mentioned, you know, the old back days in the wheelhouse. When you wanted to find the dirt, where we went was the wheelhouse. So I've have the honor of the mayor's office here. Chief Petty Officer Dave Greene, dear Mr. Greene, on behalf of the Council of City of Langford.
Dave didn't know that Langford had been incorporated as a city.
This is my first one. I want to thank you and congratulate you on providing 31 years of loyal service to Canada and your community throughout your long and distinguished career with the Royal Canadian Navy. Your noble sacrifice are appreciated to the highest degree by family, friends, and community. We all strive to make our country and community a better place to live, and you, by your outstanding career of service, have certainly done that. Congratulations on your retirement, and this entitles you to all the free beer at the Langford Legion. Congratulations, Davey.
Actually, we'll start off with the one for Dave. Upon your retirement and recognition of your 31 years of devoted service to the Royal Canadian Navy, your certificate of appreciation. We'll give you the least important one there, Dave. And then for Kathy, this is for your in recognition of your devotion, unfailing support, and understanding which made possible your spouse's contribution to the Royal Canadian Navy and the Canadian Forces, and particularly to the police school. He's increased my vocabulary by about 2%. Very good. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
One more presentation. Algonquin's here. That's their last ship. They're going to come on out and make a presentation also.
Good for you.
Signature, Dave. Yeah.
You're going to jack me.
Stand up for God's sake.
So, from all the boys on board the Algonquin, we decided we'd pitch a little money together, you know, from the Halston's Pop Can Fund. And, you know, we had to scream and toil with those. And we all pitched in and got you a nice little going away present. And we even went and got it engraved for you. You might have spelled your name wrong, because I told him the biggest font because you can't read.
Those are legal to carry on aircraft now, Dave.
Why'd you have to tell him that?
That means you gotta start getting work. What does it say? What does it say?
It says, CPO2 Dave Greene, CBM HMCS Algonquin,
Date to date.
2000 11/2013.
Don't run with scissors.
Hold elder in.
Well, feel sorry for the first moose.
Get it.
Probably happy it's not a chainsaw. Coxon, have anything else to add, or sir?
It's just another Mars officer that started off about 22 years ago with Dave and Oriel. And thanks everybody for coming. Thanks Dave for teaching us so much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
I just got to Algonquin in August, and I'd never met Dave before. One of the few that never ran into him in his career. But I'd just like to say all the stories that I heard before I got there were true, and actually Dave really helped me out a lot when I was there when I first got there, trying to fit into the crew. And thanks for that, Dave. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
We have some emails that a lot of friends can't make it here today, either at sea, bingo, shopping, washing hair, full manicure. But we have a couple people selected that are going to read out an email, and I'm pretty sure that you'll enjoy the humor in a bunch of them. First one we're going to have read off is, it's been 20 minutes since I wrote this. Start off the back. Armand.
I don't have to get down.
No, it's good there.
Do I have to get down? Because this guy's pretty short.
No, that's fine.
Between me and Chris Hall, you probably could have picked the wrong guys to read this one. Dave, hold the door, I'm coming too. Well, my friend, has been sad that I'm not there to listen to your speech, which we're waiting for still, by the way. And you're about to give up, but I do hope there are some doodahs being quoted. I guarantee the MF will certainly dwindle away. Look into the audience of your friends that have come to wish you farewell, and remember that they're probably only on the second drafts of their PERs right now. Then look at your index fingers. Think of the break they'll get because you're retiring. You're not going to be here anymore. No more hunting trips postponed due to the sailing schedules. No more step tests to darken the doorway. I'll be home soon. I hope you won't be too busy to come out in a couple weeks to another retirement gig. I look forward to standing in front of you. I'll wear some swimming stripes at the next Bosun Christmas party on the side of the retired Harry Bags. And now it's official. There's only now missing SoCo Fishing. My friend, see you soon. Ray Shaw. P.S. By the way, can I stay in your trailer after my retirement gig?
Please pass along my best wishes to Dave. As a Greene subby joining the Algonquin in 05, then P1 Greene facilitated my introduction to the deck department. Although he gave off a somewhat trusty and gruff persona, it soon became apparent that he was, in fact, a sailor. I'd be hard-pressed to think of another member of the Chiefs and Petty Officers Mess who cared as much for his juniors as Dave did. As a junior Mars officer, I quickly learned that Dave was someone I could approach for advice about the dark arts of seamanship evolutions. And he always displayed a tremendous patience, even if it wasn't quite diplomatic. Thanks for guiding me and my wingers, Dave, and I wish you and yours all the best in your well-earned retirement. Come on, you're burning daylight. Thanks.
From the divisional commander, Larry Trim. You know him?
Yeah, we got in touch with Larry Trim a couple weeks ago, and he sent off a little stuff for you. And, well, Dave, I understand you were swallowing the anchor. Actually, it looks like you have had a few helpings of the RCS. I swear on a stack of Field and Streams that the stories I will tell are the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. I've known Dave for a good number of years and have many fond memories of our time spent together either sailing, fishing, or having a few beers. Dave has always been known for his tremendous work ethic and preparation. When I was diving officer on board Saskatchewan, Dave became the de facto go-to guy for all aspects of the team. Dave and I spent a lot of time together on the water. On one particular trip on board Oriole, having just finished the Victoria to Maui race, Dave and I were invited to go night diving with some civilians. So we showed up with our black bags, black diving suits, black buoyancy compensators. We looked like SEAL Team 6. Well, at least I did. Dave looked like he ate SEAL Team 6. So many of the civilians were looking at us with envious eyes as we had the gear. Well, until I went into my bag to grab my flippers. And lo and behold, I forgot them. Dave, being the team player that he is, he gave me one of his flippers, and we completed the night dive with one flipper each. I think you had the right flipper, he said. On one occasion, we had a mock trial with our XO on board Saskatchewan. I think the charge was poaching or some other crime that befits Dave's character. So Dave thought it was a big joke until the XO started giving him the fatherly talk, which went on and on and on, until Dave was pretty sure that he was guilty. I have very fond memories of my time as CEO of HMCS Oriole. With Dave as buffer and Pat O'Hara as coxswain, how could you not? Dave's great hijinks on board were to use my heads after a heavy night of chicken wings and beer, topped with pickled eggs. He would then instruct the engineer that the seals' heads were broken and to go and inspect and fix them. It was all pretty funny until the engineer decided to, on payback, and greased up the throttle in Gibson's Marina. A particularly difficult departure, which I then had to execute with greased hands. Dave was excellent as the buffer, and I trusted him wholeheartedly, especially when he had the watch in charge of the ship. He was an extremely strong leader, seaman, and a good friend. And Larry, Dave, I wish you all the best in retirement. You have been a valued member of the Navy for 31 years, and it has been a pleasure to serve with you. I'm sending a commanding officer's coin as a small token of friendship. It's in the mail. And P.S. I started a shooting team here since I own a range. Why don't you make a trip to Newfoundland and you can show me how to shoot? Yours, Larry Trim, Commanding Officer, CFS St. John's.
Nice.
So that's why SEAL Team doesn't exist. Over to, from our crew manager, anybody have sensitive ears? Chad Fox, take it away.
Yeah, thanks for that. We all know Don's a little abrupt, a little direct, so I apologize profusely in front of this captain especially.
Oh, God.
One from Don. I've known Dave since our QL5, where his first wife did his homework. Then our career paths drifted apart for a number of years, coming back together when myself, Lyle Hadwell, and Dave shared a house in Goldstream. At that time, Dave was dating his second wife and sleeping with his current wife on the side. For a chunky guy that stumbles through a sentence, he seemed to get a lot of tail. The only thing that he has had more of than wives is trucks. If anyone has been in the passenger side of his truck, you would not ask why. Suffice to say that Dave could not drive a sharp stick up a dog's let alone a truck. It's a multitasking cell phone, texting, reading road signs right to left, and he's not even French. One final note. I'm not sure how, but Dave did get the last dig on me. His friggin' release screwed my third attempt at a posting plot this year, and I have had to do 2 admin reviews and about 50 emails because of him. It cost me about 10 hours extra work. And another beep right there. All that aside, please tell Dave to stay in touch and enjoy the retirement hunting and fishing, and to send me an invite to his next wedding.
I got a quick one, really. I sailed with Dave on the Oriole a number of years ago, and speaking of Larry Trim and the antics that Dave used to pull off, Dave, we were up in Powell River,
and you had to walk about a block and a half to the showers to take a shower, coin-operated showers. You'd always take enough coins with you to go. And it had snowed just slightly in Powell River. And Lieutenant Commander Trim went to have a shower. He gets in the shower with his officer bottle of shower gel because he didn't use hand soap back then. And big handful, start scrubbing. David replaced the shower gel with maple syrup. So of course, Larry, to get back to that, Dave was up having a shower. Larry went up and took Dave's shoes. And then walked back a block and a half in the snow. And I'm not really sure, but I think I might have had something to do with Dave's second wife's breakup, because I used to throw packages of condoms into his bag when he'd leave the ship. I'm sure, like everybody else who's gone out hunting and fishing with Dave, there's never a dull moment. So when I first started going fishing with Dave, I didn't know a lot of the areas to go around the ponds and everything like this. So this one day, he says, "Come with me, I'm going to take you to a few spots." So we went out to Elk Lake, tried our luck there, got a couple of small ones. Then he says, "Well, let's go try Thetis Lake." So we went to Thetis Lake, threw the line in there, caught a couple other ones. He says, "Well, I got one more." He says, "Let's go to Pryor." Now, I have never gone to Pryor Lake, never been there, but heard stories about it. And Dave says, "Well, this is a pretty good spot." So we drive over to Pryor Lake, which is right beside Thetis Lake. Nice big dock. We go down there. We're casting our lines. Got a couple of bites, got a couple of nibbles, caught a few fish. Next thing you know, out of nowhere, these two ladies come in, between their 40s and 50s, along with this other fella. It was the afternoon that day. It was nice and sunny and everything like this. You remember this, Dave, and we're standing there, we're fishing and everything, and Dave had his drag turned on, so every time he was reeling in, you hear clickety, 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 click. So these people come down, these two ladies and this fella, we're fishing. I have my back to them, they're on the other side of the dock, and the dock is about from me to the stage away. It's a pretty big dock. And I have my back to them because I'm fishing on this side, and that's fine and dandy, and all of a sudden Dave goes, "Psst, Ron, Ron." What? He says, "Look." "What?" "Over here." And I turn and I look. Well, aren't the three of them taking off their clothes? They're stripping down to nothing, all right? And they're standing there, buck naked. They got lawn chairs, they got a cooler and everything. And I'm looking at, yeah, you get that sheet-eating grin. He's turning all red in the face. And I says, "What the hell is this?" He says, "I don't know." I says, "Well, do we keep fishing or do we go?" He said, "Well, let's keep fishing." So we kept on fishing. Well, next thing you know, one of them yells at him saying, "Listen, can you stop making that noise?" And it's from his reel, clickety, 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 click. And Dave turns around and says to him, I'll turn it off if you put your clothes on because you're scaring the friggin' fish." Needless to say, we kind of left after that. That was my first experience with Pryor Lake. He didn't tell me it was a nudist lake. A lot of people came there for Sunday.
Well, I'm glad it ended that way because I had thoughts of something else.
He was going to take his clothes off and join them, right?
Yeah, okay. No, that's not what I thought either. All right, Gumby, is there anybody else out there that would like to share a story? Before we hand it over to the man himself here after 31 days and 4 hours now. Anyways, Gumby, come on up. After all the shit chucking and everything aside, look at all, you're a likable guy. Congratulations.
Well, let me start this off by saying, my name's Dave Greene, and I'm an alcoholic. Wait a minute, wrong course. That was just the icebreaker. Before I get started, I just want to say thanks to Kathy, wherever she is.
She left after the discussion about your second wife.
After Chad read the email. Thanks. She's been there alongside me, and I really appreciate all her support. And I also want to thank Jonesy for masterminding this and getting it going, and Phil for emceeing it. I don't know how I'm going to talk about your 10 most wanted there. I don't think I can beat that. And I also want to thank the Bosun community for coming forward here and for my retirement. I also want to thank the Algonquin and the deck department for showing up. I have a soft heart, or spot in my heart for the Algonquin. I like the old ships, that's why I stay away from the CPS. And I like the old school stuff. So, thanks a lot for everything. If I missed any of you, thanks. Yeah, so 31 years in the Navy, I shut it down. I'm going to start a new life here. I'm going to be 50 in April here, so I'm back to 20 again. Hopefully I'll work on my girlish figure. And my plan is...
You might want to try a pregnancy test.
My plan is to work 4 days and hunt and fish the other 3. Well, probably if I can find a job that will hire. So once again, thanks a lot for all your support. It's an end of the story, and a new book is going to open up on my new life here. So thanks a lot.